question on, you said there was a question?
Oh, yes. Here, I'll screenshot it. Because it wasn't on the comment section. But someone basically said, is Jacob's trouble happening or is it going to happen? Or is it going, he said, is Jacob's trouble been happening or is it going to start happening?
It depends on how you want to look at it. Jacob has had trouble ever since he's been brought here. Yeah. But prophetically speaking, Jacob or Yahuah would be entering into that cycle. I would say that Jacob's troubles, I would say they are beginning to take place. And right now, what you're dealing with is, I think the last time I did the lesson, we were talking about how when Jacob's trouble began, the key to understanding Jacob's trouble is the woman and the birthing pains. And the womb of that woman is the land where Jacob resides. And so I think we were talking about when a woman first gets impregnated and she goes through what are called trimesters. And there's a period of time when a woman goes through what we call false labor. Some people, my mom used to call it Braxton Hicks. For years, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Braxton Hicks. So, with Braxton, you want to explain that to us, Coty?
It's not labor in itself. It's just premature contractions that happen, but it's not going to bring forth the baby at that point.
It's kind of like premature contractions, or what we call, I guess, I don't think false labor would be bad terminology for it. But what you have is, that starts, so what it does, it prepares the woman for what's to come. And it starts getting her ready. And so when you look at what's going on in America and across the world, you see the woman, she's very uncomfortable at this time. And that woman would be the nations. Not only America, but all of these nations. If you really go look at what's going on, whether it be America, go look at any European country or nation, go look at even in China or different places, you can even go look at Israel. Wherever we are, it is really causing problems for that particular nation. But the reason everything is focused on America so is because America is the light or the leader of these nations. The other nations are influenced by America. Although they're not as powerful or they don't hold the same stature as America, America greatly influences all nations. Everybody wants to come where? To America. This is why the Most High is going to deal with America the way he's going to deal with America. Because when he lowers the boom, or when he gets to bringing Israel out, or sending the labor pains, it's going to be the nation that's the greatest is what's going to cause the other nations to fall in line. It's kind of like where sudden, you start reading about, I don't care, any internet site you go to, you start seeing articles about what? Reparations. You turn on the news, reparations. You go to YouTube, reparations. You start hearing about the ADOS, African Descendants of Slave movement and stuff. All of this is for a reason. All of this is to just start the conversation and to get the acknowledgement out that, hey, you know what? Yeah, we did you wrong. You are slaves. And it gets them to acknowledging and talking about it. All the while knowing they're not going to do anything about it. They're going to make every excuse as to why you can't get what's rightfully due to you. Well, slavery was over a century ago, over 100 years ago, so why are we still talking about it? We got to move on from that. The next thing you hear is, well, I'm third, fourth, and fifth generations removed from slavery. I didn't have anything to do with that. I wasn't here. I never owned a slave. That's the second thing you hear. Not knowing that the wealth they have is generational and will pass down. The disparity between income between blacks and whites is kind of equivalent to a white family having $100 and a black family having $5. That's crazy. And it was all because of slavery. Well, you know, the Constitution, it has changed, and there have been amendments to make everybody feel what? Equal. And so racism, you know, that's of the past. Yeah, they could even say we're, 100 years or over 100 years since slavery been abolished. And they said, well, I didn't own a slave. Yeah, but what came after slavery?
Jim Crow.
Well, what about before Jim Crow? Most people forget about Reconstruction. You had Reconstruction. You had Jim Crow. Segregation. And that touches everybody. It's not just slavery itself. It was slavery, and not only that, that institution of slavery, what comes from it, they even wove it into the fabric of their judicial system in America to make sure there was always unequivalency between the former slaves and the slave masters or the ruling class. So what's happened with that is all of that's bringing about acknowledgement. Because let me tell you something, the Most High doesn't ever just destroy a people or a nation. He always gives them the opportunity to what? Make things right first. Did he just go into Egypt and destroy it?
Nineveh.
He didn't go into Nineveh and just destroy it. He didn't go into Egypt and just destroy it. He didn't go into Sodom and Gomorrah and just destroy it. He gave the people what? An opportunity or a chance to make things right. But when they refuse, that's when he lowers the boom. And so now that's what you see when it comes to Jacob's troubles. Now all of a sudden you see things happen. And like I said, when that woman first goes into labor, her contractions, they're spread out. I mean, she might have a contraction every now and again. But the closer she gets to that delivery date, or it's time for that baby to come out, guess what? Them things come quite frequent. And stronger. And that's what you're dealing with. We've entered into Jacob's trouble. It started. That's why they're so uneasy right now. You don't know when Jacob's trouble. You turn on your television, you find them shooting anybody else down unarmed in the streets and stuff. You haven't found law enforcement officers beating up on nobody else's children in classrooms and stuff. And so that's what you have to ask yourself, how's all of this injustice, I should say, why does it seem to be happening against just one group of people? Black men, women, and children. Not the African, not the Mexican, not the Chinese, not the Japanese, not the white. And now all of a sudden you got a pharaoh here that the people can follow. Because people don't understand. Trump is a pharaoh. How do we know it? Egypt, when Israel was in Egypt, they lived peacefully in that land. It wasn't until a pharaoh that came on the scene that didn't know who what? Joseph. Then all of a sudden something happened. They became fearful. Now you got what? A nation that's fearful. First of all, they're a dying breed. They're dying off. They're trying to figure out why so many whites and white people, the life expectancy of them is short. They're upset because a lot of their women are marrying and having interracial relationships, which is another factor that causes their breed to die off, to dissipate or disappear quickly. And it's one of the things where now all of a sudden, when you go back and read, when the scripture said that the Most High, Yahuah, hardened Pharaoh's heart. I'm going to explain this to y'all one time. I'm going to explain it good. Now, in the church, when you read that, you tend to think that, okay, then Pharaoh might have been a good person. And all of a sudden, it was the Most High that hardened his heart and made him evil towards Israel. Nope. When you go look at that word harden, it's going to be explained to you that that hatred that was already there, he just magnified it and increased it. Now, you've been living all these past few years, and you've been going to school with Mary, Elizabeth, Becky, Rebecca, Biff, Poindexter. So, I'm going to get real human there. And so what you have is, they've been able to keep this stuff dormant the way they really felt about you and how they really felt. And so many people have laughed and smiled in your face for the last 40, 50 years. Then all of a sudden, this idiot gets elected president. And now all of a sudden, his feelings and his language towards minority, now all of a sudden, those same people, y'all find it strange that now they have all of a sudden a boldness and they don't mind letting you know how they feel? It's the Most High. He's hardened Pharaoh's heart. He sent Trump, he placed Trump in office for a reason. Trump is in office to wake Israel up. Because, you know, we walk hand in hand. He said, although you walk hand in hand with him, he said, the wicked shall not go unpunished. He said he's going to thrust a sword through him. And so what's happening now that Trump is in office, and they have a leader or a pharaoh who doesn't mind expressing how he feels, so what do you think the people are going to do?
Go do the same thing.
They're going to do the same thing. shoot you down and kill you, so they know they're going to get out of jail. And police brutality is at an all-time high. Because they know they can get away with it. They have codes now. I fear for my life. Only thing you got in your hand is a pencil sharpener. Not the pencil. But I fear for my life. Or the first thing they'll do is holler, stop going for my gun, stop grabbing my gun. But that's for a reason. And they do that because they know they're going to go right before their judges in their system and they're going to be released. But
And Morey brought out on class on Wednesday is that I think in Chicago he said it is against the law now to videotape a police officer with your phone. So you can't. So if you videotape anything that goes on, you will be arrested.
yeah,
You see that? And that right there is actually going against the Constitution. Because in the Constitution, you have a right to the freedom of press. Exactly.
yeah.
So slowly but surely, they doing away with the Constitution.
And you ever notice how a lot of these times, all of a sudden, all these damn millions of dollars they spent on these video cameras and stuff for the cops on their uniform, why 9 out of 10 times the videos aren't working?
Well, not only that, they actually turn them off.
They turn them off.
They actually turn the cameras off.
But that's what we're living in. We're entering into Jacob's trouble. And it's showing up. That's why we as a people have to be mindful. We have to start preparing and coming up with some ideas how we can put ourselves in a position to be prepared for it. We have to. Any more questions or thoughts? Well, we're going to stand and we're going to have the blowing of the shofar. And I'll keep on our prayers out.
Still up?
Yes, sir.
I hope he knows it's my work phone.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Baruch and Morey with your words of wisdom through this next lesson.